Hey everyone, Coach Zachariah here, Silver Bullet Fitness, coming to you with another video on your road to your first client as a personal trainer. So listen, up until this point, we have built you a foundation, spoken about how you're going to get paid, how to program your clients, what to do now that you're a fresh trainer, as well as other foundational building blocks to get you set up for your first client. Now we're actually talking about the most important thing in this video, and that is how to find those clients. All right, cool. So this is going to be the most important video because like all businesses, including yours, finding qualified leads and converting them into sales is the name of the game. And you prospecting your clients is going to be the name of the game as well. We've got a little bit of a saying that we use, which is, I just need to get up to bat. So I got to get up to bat because when I swing, I know I'm going to hit. But we first got to get you up to bat, which is really important. So I want to start by telling you what I think is the most critical avenue that you can take as a brand new fresh trainer trying to find a client and trying to find a paying client, because that's really important too, is to work within your family and friends. So that can be a little tricky when we talk about the word paying and family and friends, but my goal here is to make sure that when you find your first client that you're able to charge them exactly what you want to charge them and not have to take the concessions that we've all had to take in our career. I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen. That's what I would like to happen. So how do we target our family and friends, and why should we be targeting our family and friends? Well, they're going to be your best sphere of influence when you don't have any social proof. So of course, you're just getting started. Your social proof may be your own physique, which is going to be important later on as we talk. And that can be some good social proof right there, but sometimes it's not enough to drive people over the next step to get them to actually train with you. And so targeting your friends and your family by having lots of allied health conversations with them, lots of health and benefit conversations with them, is going to help them be able to sell your services for you without you having to do much else. And those people already have an idea of your value, they have an idea of your cadence, they have an idea of who you are, and so you're going to be able to reach further and further in this small sphere of influence rather than going out and trying to seek the random people that may exist online. And social media being the top of my list, that is exactly what I mean. Your social media early on, you want to tailor it to the people who know you, because those people are going to take the time to read it, and those people are going to remember you because they already know your name, they know your family, and they're going to remember you, and they're going to tell people about you. So having those conversations with people is going to help branch it out. So I'll give you an example. You're having a conversation with a friend or your mom or your dad or whoever it is, and you're talking about how Ozempic is not necessarily the best cure for weight loss because of the $2 billion lawsuit that they're currently being hit with for a lack of vision, for loss of vision and other serious health side effects, right? You're having that conversation with somebody and you're demonstrating a level of authority around it, and they don't know about it, right? It's your mom. You're just talking to your mom about it. Well, all of a sudden your mom is at work or she's at home or she's doing this or that or she's reading something on Facebook and one of her friends says, I'm really thinking about getting on this Ozempic thing because of XYZ. And now that seed has been planted. She goes, wow, I don't think you should do that. Why don't you talk to my son instead? My son is a personal trainer and he can give you some great advice on what you should do instead of doing the Ozempic. And that is what we consider getting up to bat. because now they contact you and now you have an opportunity to sell your services to them. So the best thing you can do as a brand new trainer is target that sphere of influence and have lots of conversations, passionate conversations, confident conversations around the issues that you hear on a regular basis from people and how you can solve them so that when other people hear it come up, they also can talk about it and solve those problems by referring back to you as well. I'm not saying that you should be trying to train your sister or even your best friend, because oftentimes it's very difficult to get those types of people to pay you because, well, they're too close to you, they're your friends. You're really trying to plant the seeds for everybody around them. And a very important note on that too, and this is going to be really, truly critical, is in the event that things like that happen. So again, example, your mother says, oh, Debbie said she was going to do this, and I told her, hey, you should contact my son. Do not wait. Do not wait for Debbie to contact you. You have to contact Debbie, okay? Whenever you're in that opportunity where somebody says, oh yeah, I was going to give them your number. Yes, give them my number and tell them to text me now. Give them my number and let's get something on the schedule. Give them my number and you know what? Ask them if it's okay for you to give me their number. Make sure you are locking it in. You can't just wait for it to come, because the thing is, a lot of people will kind of pillow talk their way and they'll feel satisfied just by talking about talking to you, but not actually doing it. Make sure you swoop in and really grab and solve that problem, because you're going to hear a lot of, oh, I told this person about you and I told this person about you and they said they're interested and they said they're interested. Unless you get into the conversation with them and push them to put it on a calendar, the likelihood is they're not actually going to reach out to you, because they have not made steps in the right direction for their health as is. So really, really critical point there. Push to get the contact information and push to set up the contact. Don't just wait, because it often doesn't come. Even when it sounds so good, it often doesn't come. Wanted to take a second just to explain that, because it is really, really important, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of wishes and maybes and not a lot of conversations with prospective clients. All right. So social media, external referrals, friends and family, and then the last one for that side is going to be in the wild. So in the wild. So I'm going to assume that you look the part. And that's one of the most important things about being a personal trainer. Obviously, if you are not looking the part and it's all up here and you've got all the knowledge and the wisdom, it doesn't translate very well, especially not in the wild. And by in the wild, I mean your grocery stores, your work functions, your weddings, your parties, whatever, like in the wild. So look the part. Obviously, one of the most important things, and you probably already do. Otherwise, you want to become a personal trainer. Okay. Second thing is confidence. But like cocky confidence though. Like you are the shit. You know what you're talking about and you're not afraid to talk about it, but you're not going to lecture or you're not going to go ad nauseum, right? You want to live with an air of confidence. So when you're in the wild and you have that brief conversation with a person, you feel good about giving them your card. They feel good about taking it from you, and they actually want to listen to you. And it happens more often than you not when you allow that door to open, because you're actively working out and you look good, and people usually ask questions. They just tend to do that. So in the wild, you want to be ready. So look good in the wild, be able to once again use the same thing of how do I get this person into a conversation, a real conversation, besides when I'm standing in the grocery aisle and some lady asks me, what the difference in pasta is, right? Like, how do I turn that into, hey, let's get you on the phone, let's get you a workout plan going. So make sure you look the part, make sure you're constantly minded for it, and make sure you're paying attention to what people are talking to you about and what they're saying to you. Quick, brief story. You can skip this if you want to, but I'm going to put it in there as an example. Spoke to a gentleman the other day who was probably over 300 pounds. He had just lost 100 pounds and he hasn't been in the gym in a long time, but he knows he needs to get back, and here's all the changes he's made in his health. And in that moment, my goal is to listen to where he is in those stages of change, give him some great motivational advice in that moment, and change the way he's thinking about it so that I can eventually reapproach him when I get the chance, plant the seed and actually get him into training. So he told me that he gets 15,000 steps a day at work. And I said, that's awesome, man. That's great. 15,000 steps is great work. I said, do you mind if I tell you something scientific? And he goes, sure. I said, that's what we call non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, which is this great extra burning that you get when you're not doing structured exercise. But I told him, I said, but it's not a replacement for structured exercise. So we need to do something structured and get you going. How would you like to come train with me? Which, of course, threw him off. He wasn't ready to hear about that all at that time. He gave me, well, I've got this going on and this excuse and that excuse. And I said, okay. I said, no problem, man. I said, listen, I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm right next door. So whenever you're ready, you let me know. And I'm going to go see him and follow up with him multiple times afterwards. But that's the type of example of in the wild, hearing where they are and listening to where they are, because often they're telling you exactly what they want. They just don't know how to do it yet. All right, let's move over to kind of the gym side. Like I said, all of this works in the same way, because if you're working in a gym, you're probably still doing social media, you're starting getting external referrals, still friends and families, and you're still going to be in the wild. If you're inside of a gym, oftentimes the easiest way is new gym members. So if you've taken your certification, you know the behaviors of change, pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, right? If you don't know what those things are, Google phases of behavioral change. Anyway, the point is that most people who are walking in as a new gym member, we'd consider them like a warm, if not hot lead, because they've already made the decision to get off the couch, get to the gym, and spend money on themselves. So they're a hot lead. Sometimes they're a little tricky because they feel like they can do it on their own, that kind of thing, but they're already have made the change. They're already ready for that change, and all you have to do is kind of help them see where their gaps may be and where you can help them with structure and provide them the value that they may be missing, right? So new gym members is great. Off the floor is another way if you're working in a gym, or even if you're just working out at a gym, which is a little trickier because we don't like to shark people out of other people's gyms. But you know, you're on the floor and you see a person struggling with something, it's perfectly okay to say, hey, I'm a trainer here. Is it okay if I show you something new that might help you with that? Or, wow, you're really doing great. You really look like you know what you're doing. Is it possible that I can add additional tip for you? And just add value from that perspective. And you'll find more often than not, the people that you may not expect to want to ask you things have been dying to ask you things for a long time. You do want to avoid the trap of just being free information, of course. So again, like I said earlier, ask. Hey, let's get you on a calendar. Hey, let me throw you through a real session. Hey, when are you gonna stop messing around, keep asking me stuff, but not actually let me train you for a real session, right? Those are the ways that we take those freebies and turn them into something special. Giveaways, talk about that in a second, and internal referrals. Another great way is internal referrals. So I'll give you an example. I have trained with physical therapists, and I've trained with people who do like Spartan races. And there have been times when the Spartan race people have given someone to me and I've given someone to them. That's usually an internal referral, works inside the gyms. Conversely, external referrals, you can look at partnering with chiropractors or partnering with doctor's offices or partnering with nutrition spots and things of that nature to get external referrals. That's a bit of an advanced thing, which is why we're not really focused on it right now, but it is something that can happen. And I, who actually trained a physiotherapist for a long time, get a lot of my clients from her, and I send a lot of my clients to her. And so having external referrals works too, but internal referrals would be within your gym. If there's like client overflow, or if, we just got this person in and the head trainer doesn't have space to train them, you may get a little bit of overflow and actually be able to get clients that way as well. And the last thing is giveaways. So giveaways are little marketing techniques that you can do. And these are examples that have been brought up by numerous people, but just as a silly one, you're at the gym, you get a whole jar of jelly beans, and you have them on the desk, and it's like a guess the amount of jelly beans giveaway, right? And people are naturally going to attract themselves to that because they want whatever you're giving away. And you give away like a gym shirt or something like that, but you're also giving away a free training session, right? And what they don't know is every answer you get, you're going to call the person, tell them that they won the free training session anyways. Because our goal, like I said, is to get up to bat, is to get those qualified leads and get up to bat so that we can actually deliver on that red carpet service that's going to convert them into selling or buying clients. So let's recap real quick. So prospects, where will you get your first paying client? The best advice I can give you is to search within your direct sphere of influence. Be ready when you're out in the wild, and be ready to force them into a structured conversation. Get them on a calendar, get their contact information, call them, have them call you. Don't just wait around for, oh, they're going to call you, or they said they wanted XYZ. Oftentimes, they're not really going to push to get there. And then from there, work in the gym, getting people off the gym floor. New gym members are usually hot leads. Really take advantage of that as well. Now, in our next video, we're going to talk about how to conduct a proper consultation/assessment, which is going to lead to the highest amount of sales that you can get, but also provide your client with the proper assessment that allows you to know what to train them with and also provides them with value and keeps them engaged in that. I will also come up with a video, a little bit more of a direct understanding of how to get clients, but this is actually as kind of raw and messy as this is what you're going to experience in your mind when you are first starting out finding your clients, because until you hit the 5 to 10 client list, the funnel itself doesn't really open itself up, which is why I wanted to give you the most important one, which was your friends and family sphere of influence, because until you hit 5 to 10 clients concurrently, that kind of referral dam doesn't really open up and doesn't start flooding in for you until you hit that point. Early on, you just kind of have to take what you can get. But if you know how to get the conversations happening directly, you can save a lot of steps. Because when I first started out, I had a lot of different, oh, this person's interested, this person's interested, and I wasn't trying to follow up with it because I was under the assumption that they knew how much their health mattered as much as I knew their health mattered. So when you first get started as a personal trainer and you are ready to rock and roll and you're on the gym floor and you're looking for that first client, be on the lookout for those new gym members who may not know exactly what they're doing. Pay attention if they're only hitting the treadmill. See what they're doing with their bodies. See if they seem receptive. Find out their name. Greet them every single day. Look the part. If you are not inside of a gym and you're looking for clients and you need to find clients, don't go with the online get new client services and blah, 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 blah. Just target the people closest to you that you think you can get into the longest and most structured conversations with. And then when we're able to get into those consults, we're getting into those conversations, I'm going to teach you how to close those deals, how to sell, and how to walk away with a structured contract that's going to both pay you, but also give that client the best value they can get. So that's it for today. That is where will you get your first paying client. Again, this is a complex conversation topic. I hope it wasn't too scattered. If it is, let me know and I'll redo the video and make one a little bit more streamlined. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, the normal YouTube stuff. If you haven't been to the website, check out silverbulletfitness.me. As a trainer, there are some resources there, like our digital programming sheet that I have created for you to use, as well as a body fat assessment kind of template sheet that you can use when you start doing calipers for your clients. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. How long?